Have you ever wondered why some people feel uncomfortable around you even when you've done nothing wrong? Why people who once supported you suddenly changed? Why the energy shifts when you walk into the room, even if you don't say a word? If you've been feeling like you're being watched, misunderstood, attacked, or pushed away by people you thought were for you, then this message is for you. You didn't come across it by mistake. It found you because something inside you is waking up. Your spirit is remembering who you are. And when the chosen ones start to awaken, the world around them begins to shake. What you're going through is not just a rough patch. It's not just life being unfair. It's a spiritual shift, a soul-level transformation. You are not weak or broken. You are powerful beyond what you realize. And your power, even when it's quiet, speaks loudly. That's why certain people can't stand your presence. It's not because you've hurt them. It's because your truth exposes their lies. Your light reveals their shadows. Your energy stirs up everything they've been trying to hide, even from themselves. And you don't even have to speak for them to feel it. You just being who you are makes them uncomfortable. You see, the universe doesn't ignore anything. Every act, every word, every hidden intention, it all gets recorded in energy. And when someone sends you pain, judgment, jealousy, or betrayal, even in silence, that energy circles back. It may take time, but it always returns to the sender. That's why the people who tried to bury you are now feeling the weight of their own darkness. That's why the ones who laughed at your struggle are now dealing with silent battles of their own. That's not revenge. That's balance. That's the law of cause and effect. That's what happens when someone touches a chosen one and thinks they'll never be held accountable. You didn't need to fight them. You didn't need to clap back. Your silence was loud enough. Your calm was powerful. And while they were focused on stopping you, they didn't realize they were helping you grow. Every attack built your strength. Every rejection shaped your heart. Every delay deepened your purpose. You weren't just surviving the storm. You were becoming it. You are the force they never expected. The mirror they didn't want to face. The truth they tried to run from. And now that truth is standing tall. And it's you. All the pressure you felt, it wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You weren't being broken. You were being broken open. You weren't being delayed. You were being refined. And now, the light that lives inside you is too strong to hide. It's too bright to dim. And even those who try to erase your presence can feel it. That's why they can't rest. That's why they can't stop watching. That's why they can't understand why their plans keep falling apart. Because what they didn't know is that you are not ordinary. You are chosen. And chosen ones aren't protected by luck. They are protected by purpose. You've spent years feeling like you needed to explain yourself, to prove your worth, to play small so others could feel big. But that season is over. You're done shrinking. You're done making yourself smaller so insecure people can feel safe. You're done hiding your gifts, your truth, your light, just to fit into spaces that were never built for your kind of power. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to shake the ground. You were meant to wake people up. You were meant to carry something that would change everything you touch. And now it's time to live like it. There's a reason you've always felt different. A reason you couldn't settle for surface level things. A reason mediocrity made you restless. It's because you were born to go deeper. to see more, to feel more. You don't just live, you sense, you discern, You see through masks. You feel energy shifts. You pick up on things no one else notices. That's not a weakness. That's divine intelligence. That's spiritual sensitivity. That's why people fear you, even if they admire you, because you move with a kind of awareness that can't be faked or explained. And it's time to stop apologizing for that. You've been through more than most people know. Pain that could have turned you cold. Loss that could have made you bitter. Betrayals that could have made you shut down completely. But instead, you kept your heart open. You kept your spirit soft. You chose healing. And that's what makes you unstoppable. That's why the same people who tried to break you are now watching your rise in silence. They thought they were ending your story, but all they did was help write the most powerful chapter. The one where you discover your strength. The one where you rise without hate. The one where you shine without needing approval. And now, something deep inside of you is shifting. You're starting to feel it. That quiet power, that inner calm, that knowing that you're no longer asking for permission. You're no longer explaining your path. You're no longer begging to be seen. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be undeniable. And the people who can't handle that are not your responsibility. You've spent enough time giving energy to the wrong things. Now is the time to protect your peace, guard your purpose, and walk in your truth. There will still be people who try to attack what they don't understand, who try to twist your words, mock your growth, or stir confusion around your name. But you don't owe them a thing. Let them talk. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Because your rise isn't stopping for their approval. Your purpose isn't waiting for their applause. Your truth isn't something they get to vote on. And the more you grow, the more their illusions will crumble. You are the change they feared, the one thing they can't predict, the one energy they can't control. You don't need a title to walk in power. You don't need a platform to have impact. You don't need to be loud to shake the atmosphere. Real power is quiet. It's steady. It's rooted. It moves differently. And that's what you carry. That's why they couldn't break you. That's why they came so hard, so early, so often. Because something in the spirit world knew who you were long before you did. They saw the blueprint before you ever opened your mouth. That's why the pressure came before the platform. Because the dark tried to stop your light before it was fully awake. But it failed. You're still here. You're still rising. And now you're rising with clarity. You've spent so long surviving that you forgot what it feels like to thrive. But that ends now. You're no longer crawling. You're soaring. You're no longer asking, why me? You're saying, of course me, because now you know. You were chosen to disrupt, to break generational patterns, to bring truth into places filled with lies, to heal what others ran from, to carry love in a world addicted to fear. And nothing about that is small. Nothing about that is easy. But you carry it with grace, with power, with fire. And now that you know who you are, don't ever forget it again. Don't waste this power on things that don't matter. Don't argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Don't chase what your soul has outgrown. Don't try to prove yourself to people who don't even know who they are. This is your season of clarity, of alignment, of movement without explanation, of love without begging, of power without pride, of peace without permission. You are not just here to survive. You're here to shake the world. You're not here to blend in. You're here to break molds. You're not here to please people. You're here to walk in purpose. Everything that has tried to stop you has already failed. The doors that closed were never meant for you. The people who left were never your tribe. And the pain that tried to break you has only built a deeper, more grounded, more powerful version of who you really are. So walk in it. Walk in your light. Walk in your truth. Walk like someone who finally knows they were never too much, never too broken, never too late. You are right on time, right where you're supposed to be. And the very energy that once tried to bury you is now watching you bloom. This is your moment, not to prove, not to fight, but simply to be, to exist fully, to speak when you want, to be silent when you choose, to take up space without apology. You don't need to announce your breakthrough. It will be felt. It will be seen. It will be undeniable. And the same chains that tried to hold you down, they're breaking quietly, completely, and forever. Because you didn't just survive the fire, you became it. Stop trying to do everything on your own without connecting to your true source of power. That's the real reason you feel so tired, confused, and frustrated. You've been trying and trying, using all your strength, all your effort, all your time, and yet something still feels off. No matter how much you push yourself, something still feels missing. The results don't match your effort. The energy you put out doesn't seem to return to you, and you keep wondering what's wrong. You keep asking why the dream feels distant, why the fire burns out too fast, why nothing is flowing the way it should. The truth is, you've been trying to run on your own willpower when you were never meant to do it alone. You were never created to rely only on your human strength. You were built for something bigger, something deeper, something eternal. You were designed to move with a power that never runs out. Trying to rise without being connected to that power is like trying to light a fire with wet matches. You can strike and strike, but it won't catch. You can try over and over, but it doesn't last. It just leaves you exhausted and empty. The reason things feel off is because you're disconnected. You're trying to survive when you were made to thrive. You're trying to force progress when you are meant to flow with purpose. That deep power inside of you doesn't respond to hustle or stress or pressure. It responds to alignment. It wakes up when your mind, heart, and energy are all in sync with who you really are. You weren't made to fight your way through every day. You were made to walk with strength, to move with ease, to live with clarity. And that clarity only comes when you stop chasing everything outside of you and start tuning into what's already within you. There is a difference between pushing and flowing. Pushing wears you out. Flowing lifts you. When you're aligned with truth, things begin to shift around you. When you're in tune with your purpose, you don't have to beg for doors to open. They open because you showed up. Imagine a storm trying to shake a mountain. It can roar and rage and pour down everything it has, but the mountain doesn't move. That's what happens when you're connected. You become unshakable. You stop trying to control everything, and instead, you walk with something greater than you. You stop burning out and start burning brighter. You stop feeling lost and start feeling guided. That's what happens when you plug into the truth of who you are. That's where your fire lives. That's where your strength multiplies. That's where your energy becomes unstoppable. When you live from that place of alignment, the world starts to respond differently. Everything that once drained you loses power. Everything that once resisted you makes way. Because when you are fully aligned, no force on earth can compete with the fire inside you. You've been holding on too tightly, trying to control every twist and turn, trying to steer your way through every storm, every betrayal, every disappointment. But control was never the key. Control isn't what unlocks your power. Surrender does. The most powerful version of you doesn't come from effort. It comes from trust. Trust in the unseen. Trust in the journey. Trust in the power that has already written your path. The strength inside you isn't waiting for more grinding. It's waiting for you to let go. You've been gripping the wheel so hard, trying to force the road to bend in your favor. But life doesn't bend through control. It opens through clarity and flow. The universe isn't here to reward your resistance. It's here to meet your alignment. When you surrender, you're not giving up. You're waking up. You're stepping out of fear and into freedom. You're no longer surviving. You're rising. And every time you tried to force something that wasn't meant for you, you blocked what was. Every time you held on to something that was trying to fall away, you delayed what was meant to arrive. The power that's rising inside you now is precise, not chaotic, but it only flows when you stop interfering. Let go of the urge to control every detail. Let go of the old story you thought you had to live. Let go of the idea that you have to carry everything alone. Once you surrender, everything accelerates. The shift is fast. It's deep. It's undeniable. And you'll realize you were never supposed to carry the weight of the world. You were just meant to trust the one who already shaped your future. You're not losing control by letting go. You're gaining direction. You're not falling apart. You're falling into alignment. That's when life starts to move with you. That's when doors open. That's when breakthroughs arrive. That's when peace returns. Because surrender isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Fear has lied to you. It made you think you weren't ready. It made you think you needed more time, more signs, more clarity. But fear never protected you. It only held you back. Every time you paused when you should have moved, fear was standing there smiling. Because that's the only way fear wins. It feeds on your hesitation. But the moment you step forward, even if you're nervous, even if you're shaking, fear starts to shrink. Fear loses power the second you move. You're not stuck because you're not enough. You're stuck because fear knows how powerful you are and wants to stop you from seeing it. That door in front of you is not locked. It's only guarded by lies. Lies that tell you you're not ready. But you are. You've always been. The key was built into your spirit from the very beginning. The moment you decide to move is the moment everything starts to shift. Faith doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you don't let fear stop you. Faith means you move anyway. It means you take the step even when you can't see the full path. It means you trust that something greater is guiding you. And right now, the universe is not looking for your perfection. It's looking for your courage. It's waiting for your movement. Your power doesn't activate through comfort. It wakes up under pressure. It reveals itself through bold choices that don't make sense to everyone around you. And you weren't meant to be understood by everyone. You were chosen to do what others won't. So stop standing behind the door. Walk through it. You're not going into a fight. You are the fight. And the moment you rise, everything that tried to stop you will break apart. Your silence has lasted long enough. You've been told that silence is strength, that if you just stay quiet, things will work out. But that's not true. Silence isn't always strength. Sometimes silence is surrendering to fear. Sometimes silence is giving away your power without a fight. Every time you hold back when you should speak, you make the lies louder. Every time you shrink just to keep the peace, you give energy to the very things you were sent to change. You were not made to stay small. You were not made to whisper while the world screams. You were made to speak with truth, with boldness, with clarity. Your voice isn't just sound. It's power. It's meant to shake what needs to fall. It's meant to shine light where lies have lived for too long. And when you don't use your voice, life pushes against you. Your spirit feels off. Your energy gets blocked. Because you were made to speak truth, not to be silent in the face of chaos. They tried to teach you that being quiet is noble, that being invisible is safe. But what they were really doing was training you to tolerate what you were born to disrupt. You were not born to accept falsehoods. You were born to confront them. Your words carry weight. They either build or they destroy. And when you speak from truth, your voice becomes a weapon, not to harm, but to free. It shakes false beliefs. It breaks the spell of lies. It wakes people up. That's why they wanted you to stay silent. Because your voice is too powerful, too honest, too real. But now is your time. You must choose to speak. You must choose to rise. Because if you don't speak with authority, you will be ruled by silence. And silence won't save you. It will bury you under stories that were never yours. It's time to rise. It's time to speak. It's time to let your truth be heard. And maybe the biggest lie of all is that you have to wait, that you're not ready yet, that the right moment will come. But the truth is, the perfect moment doesn't exist. It never did. That's just fear in disguise. That's hesitation pretending to be wisdom. You've been told to wait, to plan, to prepare. But how long have you been stuck there, waiting for something to change outside of you? You don't need another sign. You don't need more time. You need a decision. Readiness isn't something you feel. It's something you choose. That fire in your gut, that feeling in your chest, that's not anxiety. That's your spirit saying, it's time. That's your power waking up. That's your soul begging for action. You weren't chosen to sit on the sidelines of your own life. You were chosen to live it boldly. Real power doesn't wait for a signal. It becomes the signal. It leads the way. You don't activate your purpose by overthinking it. You activate it by moving through the fear, by speaking when your voice shakes, by stepping forward even when your legs tremble. That's when everything starts to shift. Chosen ones are never remembered for what they thought about doing. They're remembered for what they did. So take the risk. Make the call. Launch the dream. Say the truth. Not because everything is perfect, but because staying silent has become too painful. If you've been waiting for something, this is it. This is your sign. This is your moment. The world doesn't need more hesitation. It needs your power alive and active right now. Let this truth stay with you. Your power isn't waiting for someone to approve it. It isn't waiting for everything to feel safe. It isn't waiting for a green light. It's waiting for you to move. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just need to say yes. The silence of the chosen ones has gone on long enough. Now is the time for boldness. Now is the time for action. Your rise isn't coming. It's already here.
Have you ever wondered why the moment you start loving yourself, the people you once loved suddenly change? Why the moment you stop giving endlessly, they start pulling away? Why the respect disappears the second you draw a boundary? It can feel confusing, painful, and unfair. But what if I told you that this shift is not a punishment? It's a revelation. What if this breaking point is actually your breakthrough? For so long, you may have been the one who always gave, the one who stayed quiet, who kept loving even when it hurt, who let people lean on your strength while you hid your own pain. You didn't ask for much. You tried to be enough for everyone. You kept showing up, pouring out your heart, giving your time, your energy, your love. And for a while, people seemed to appreciate you. Or at least, that's how it looked on the surface. But slowly, you began to notice something. As long as you were giving everything without asking for anything back, people were fine with you. As long as you didn't speak up or set boundaries, you were accepted. But the moment you decided to protect your peace, the moment you finally said, "I deserve more," the moment you stopped allowing people to walk all over your kindness, everything changed. They changed. The energy shifted, and suddenly, it felt like you were being punished for healing. But you weren't being punished. You were being shown the truth. This moment, the one that feels like rejection, is actually redirection. This pain that feels like loss is actually light. Because what's really happening is that God is awakening you. He's opening your eyes to what was always there. He's showing you the difference between real love and attachment, between being valued and being used, between connection and control. And though it hurts to see it so clearly, this is part of your rising. You are someone who was chosen to carry light, chosen to live with a deeper sense of purpose, chosen to grow through experiences that break open your heart only so it can hold more of God's truth. And when you are chosen, you cannot live like everyone else. You cannot stay silent in the face of disrespect. You cannot keep giving your heart to people who only show up when they need something. You cannot keep setting yourself on fire just to keep others warm. God didn't call you to be used. He called you to be whole. You may have spent years trying to prove your worth through giving. You may have believed that if you just loved hard enough, people would change. That if you stayed loyal, others would learn to love you right. That if you were kind enough, patient enough, forgiving enough, eventually they would treat you the way you deserved. But all that did was teach people how much you were willing to suffer just to feel accepted. And now God is showing you that love doesn't hurt like that. Peace doesn't require that. Respect doesn't come at the price of your soul. And what you tolerated in the past is not what you're being called to tolerate anymore. This shift in your life, the one that feels like everything is falling apart, is not chaos. It's order. God's order. He is bringing clarity. He is pulling away what no longer serves you. He is revealing the truth about relationships, patterns, habits, and people that can't go where He's taking you. Some of these people were never meant to stay. They came into your life for a reason, maybe even for a season, but not for the whole journey. And that's not failure. That's wisdom. That's obedience. That's healing. And yes, it's painful, because you loved them. You hoped. You gave. You believed. You stayed even when it broke you. And it's okay to grieve that. It's okay to cry. But don't let grief convince you that going backward is love. Don't let the pain of letting go make you forget why you started protecting yourself in the first place. You are not wrong for setting boundaries. You are not wrong for saying no to things that make your soul heavy. You are not wrong for protecting your heart, your peace, your time, your energy. You are not wrong for choosing you. In fact, that's what God has been asking you to do all along. Because He never designed you to live empty. He never created you to carry the weight of everyone else while ignoring your own needs. He never called you to love people more than you love your own spirit. Even Jesus had boundaries. He didn't let everyone close to Him. He walked away from crowds. He rested. He prayed. He chose time alone with the Father over people-pleasing. He said no. He rebuked manipulation. He wasn't afraid to speak the truth, even when it cost Him everything. So why do you believe that love means staying quiet in pain? Why do you believe that being good means being exhausted? Why do you believe that being chosen means being used? It doesn't. Love without boundaries isn't love. Giving without wisdom isn't giving. And staying in places where your light is constantly dimmed isn't holy. It's harmful. This season of your life is calling for something new. A new kind of strength. A new kind of peace. A new kind of wisdom. You are not being asked to shut your heart down. You're being asked to protect it. You're not being told to stop loving. You're being taught to love without losing yourself. You're not being pushed away from people. You're being pulled closer to God. And the closer you get to Him, the more you realize that real love, real friendship, real support, it doesn't make you question your worth. It doesn't drain your soul. It doesn't disappear the moment you say, I can't keep doing this anymore. The people who leave when you set a boundary were never there for your soul. They were there for your silence. The people who get angry when you stop overgiving were never there for your healing. They were there for your sacrifice. And that's not on you. That's just the truth being revealed. Let it be revealed. Let it hurt. Let it break the old cycle. Let it burn away the old beliefs. Let it set you free. You are not here to convince anyone to love you right. You are here to learn how to love yourself the way God already loves you. Fully, deeply, and without apology. You are walking into a new version of yourself now. One that doesn't settle. One that doesn't beg. One that doesn't explain healing to people who are committed to misunderstanding it. You are learning that peace is not selfish. That rest is not lazy. That boundaries are not rejection. You are learning that being chosen means being careful with your energy, your time, your love, your light. You are learning that not everyone deserves access to you. That some people must love you from a distance. That some doors must stay closed. And that's okay. God is not removing people to hurt you. He is clearing space. He is protecting your future. He is preparing divine connections, ones that don't make you question your light, ones that don't punish you for growing, ones that celebrate your healing. But He can't send them while you're still holding on to people who only love the broken version of you. He can't pour new wine into old wineskins. So yes, this hurts. Yes, it's lonely, but it's also sacred. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your breakthrough. This is the moment where you stop settling and start rising. This is the moment where you walk in truth, even if it costs you everything that was never meant to stay. So keep going. Keep protecting your peace. Keep setting your boundaries. Keep choosing healing over history. Keep walking toward the life that feels like peace in your bones. You're not losing love. You're finding the kind that actually sees you. You're not falling apart. You're falling into alignment. You're not being rejected. You're being redirected. And even when it hurts, you are being held by the one who never leaves. You don't need to be everything for everyone. You just need to be faithful to who God called you to be. And that version of you, she's ready. He's ready. You are ready. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Keep shining. Your breakthrough is already here. And your light is finally safe to shine. Sometimes the hardest moments in life are not meant to destroy you, but to grow something inside you that could never be born in comfort. The pain, the rejection, the times you were overlooked or taken for granted, none of it was wasted. God saw it all. He was there in the silence, in the nights you cried, in the days you smiled even when your heart was heavy. He was with you, shaping you, refining you, and teaching you through it all. You may have thought that being a good person meant always saying yes, always giving, always loving, without limits. Maybe you believed that if you kept pouring your heart out, people would finally value you. But over time, you started to realize that not everyone honors what you give. Some only take. And that realization hurt. But it also woke you up. God is now showing you a deeper truth. Love isn't just about giving. It's about giving wisely. Kindness isn't about allowing everything. It's about knowing when to say no. Generosity without boundaries leads to exhaustion, not peace. You are not created to be an endless source for others while you silently fall apart. You were created to live, to thrive, to shine. And that begins when you realize your worth does not come from how much you do for others. It comes from who you are in God. You are learning to ask honest questions. Does this relationship bring peace or pain? Is this person helping me grow or pulling me down? Am I giving from love or from fear of not being loved in return? These are not selfish questions. They are sacred. They are part of your healing. They lead you out of cycles of overgiving and into a life of clarity and strength. God is not calling you to shut your heart down. He's calling you to guard it. He's not asking you to stop loving. He's teaching you to love with wisdom. When you let people walk over your boundaries, you lose your peace. But when you protect your spirit, you honor the gift God placed in you. Your boundaries are not a punishment to others. They are a protection for you. This isn't about becoming hard. It's about becoming whole. It's about learning to give from overflow, not from emptiness. It's about walking away when necessary, not out of hate, but out of love for yourself and for what God is doing in your life. And yes, some people won't understand this change. They were comfortable with the version of you that never said no. But you are not responsible for their comfort. You are responsible for your growth. Letting go is not a failure. It's freedom. Saying no is not cruelty. It's clarity. Choosing peace over pleasing others is not weakness. It's wisdom. You're not being unkind. You're being real. You're no longer willing to lose yourself just to keep others happy. This journey may feel lonely at times, but you are not alone. God is with you, and He is proud of the way you're growing. He sees how you're changing quietly, choosing peace instead of chaos, choosing prayer instead of resentment. He sees the way you're starting to value yourself, not by what others say, but by what He says about you. You are His, and He calls you chosen. You're not here to earn love. You already have it. You're not here to prove your worth. It's already established. And when you truly believe that, your life starts to change. You stop chasing what was never meant for you. You stop explaining your worth to people who can't see it. You start living with intention, protecting your peace, and giving from a full heart. God is guiding you into a new season. It's quieter, clearer, and more powerful. He's asking you to trust that what you let go of will be replaced with something better. That walking away from what drains you will make space for what honors you. That saying no to what isn't right is saying yes to the life He's prepared for you. So breathe. You've come a long way. You've survived things that should have broken you. And yet here you are, softer, wiser, stronger. You're not becoming someone else. You're becoming who you really are. You are learning that rest is holy, that peace is sacred, that silence is healing, and that your heart is worth protecting. God, thank you for seeing us, even when others didn't. Thank you for walking with us through the pain, through the change, through the growth. Help us continue to choose truth over fear, love over guilt, peace over pressure. Teach us to give with wisdom. Help us forgive where we need to. And remind us every day that we are loved not because of what we do, but because of who you are. In Jesus' name, amen. And to you, the one reading this, don't forget how far you've come. Don't forget how deeply you're loved. Don't forget that it's okay to change, to grow, to walk away from anything that doesn't honor your spirit. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. And your best days are still ahead. May you walk forward with grace, with wisdom, and with the quiet strength of knowing that God is with you and that you don't have to earn what you already have. You are loved. You are enough. You are free.
Have you been feeling something strange lately? Like something's shifting, but you can't quite explain it? Like the air around you is thicker, conversations feel heavier, and people you once trusted suddenly feel distant? If so, you're not alone. And no, you're not imagining it. You're not overthinking. What you're sensing is real. Something deep is happening around you and inside of you. You are standing at the edge of something sacred, something life-changing, something you were born for. The strange tension, the silence from people who once cheered you on, the emotional highs and lows, They are not signs that you're losing your way. They are signs that you're getting closer to the breakthrough your soul has been preparing for all along. You are not crazy. You are not paranoid. You're tuned in. You're awake to something most people never even notice. The shaking you feel in your chest, the timing that suddenly feels off, the static in the atmosphere, all of it is real. It's spiritual. It's sacred. And it's happening because you are stepping into a divine moment. You've reached a threshold, a turning point. And even though your blessing hasn't yet arrived in your hands, the unseen world has already sensed it. And that's why the pressure has intensified. That's why the distractions are multiplying. Because something is coming that's so powerful, so transformational. It doesn't just touch your life. It changes every dimension around you. The moment your inner energy begins to rise, the noise begins to rise too. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you're doing something right. You've probably noticed it already. The same environments that once brought peace now feel heavy. The people who used to pour into you now feel distant or even cold. The clarity you just found is suddenly clouded by new chaos. You try to make sense of it. You wonder, why now? Why all at once? And the answer is this: what's coming next isn't an ordinary reward. It's a divine leap, a spiritual shift that shakes everything. The forces that used to feed off your silence, your confusion, your self-doubt, they sense that their time is up. They can feel your power rising. They don't wait for permission to interfere. The moment your light gets brighter, they scramble. They throw everything they can to block your focus. That's why old temptations come back dressed in new forms. That's why toxic people return with sweet words. That's why distractions feel stronger than ever. It's not random. It's strategy. Not to destroy you, but to delay you. Because where your attention goes, your energy flows. And if they can pull your attention away from your purpose, they don't need to stop your blessing. You'll miss it on your own. Not because you're unworthy, but because you were overwhelmed. Right now, that overwhelm may look like miscommunication, emotional exhaustion, tension in relationships. Something massive is unfolding. Something divine is being released, and your spirit knows it, even if your eyes can't see it yet. You've been chosen for something that doesn't just add to your life, it transforms it. And the closer it gets, the more chaos will try to stop you. Because your rise isn't just a personal victory, it's a disruption to the systems that survive off your confusion. Your elevation breaks their control, and they know it. So when things start breaking, when people start acting strange, when you wake up tired even after resting, remember this isn't breakdown. This is breakthrough. This is the pressure before the promise. This is the shaking before the shift. You're not being targeted because you're weak. You're being targeted because you carry something powerful, something real, something that can't be copied, silenced, or stolen. Your very presence speaks truth, even when you say nothing. Your energy exposes what's false. That's why it's been so uncomfortable lately. That's why you felt eyes on you, even in silence. Your soul is announcing itself, and the darkness around you feels it. The people who once celebrated you might now feel uneasy around you. The ones who once supported you might now grow distant. Don't let it shake you. Don't take it personally. Your growth has made some people uncomfortable, not because you're doing wrong, but because your light is revealing what they've been hiding. You didn't choose this battle. You were born into it. You didn't ask for this pressure, but your soul knew what it was saying yes to. You've been prepared for this. There's a spiritual law at work. Resistance rises before release. And the enemy doesn't fear your past. They fear your future. They fear what happens when you fully realize who you are and what you carry. That's why betrayal always comes before breakthrough. That's why confusion always comes before clarity. That's why the moment you say yes to peace, chaos tries to crawl back in. But now that you see the pattern, you won't fall for it. This isn't your end. It's your rise. And yes, it feels intense. Yes, it feels lonely. But you're not falling apart. You're falling into alignment. Everything that's crumbling is making space. Everything that's shifting is preparing the way. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're right on schedule. This is not random. This is designed. Your soul has been stretched. Your heart has been tested. Your mind has been challenged. But through all of it, you've grown stronger, wiser, clearer. You've become more than just a survivor. You've become a vessel, a transmitter of truth, a carrier of light. And that's why you feel the attacks, the chaos, the fatigue, because what's inside you is about to be released into the world in a way that can't be ignored. This is the moment the enemy fears most. The moment you stop doubting. The moment you stop shrinking. The moment you remember who you are. Because when that happens, when you step into full alignment, nothing can stand against you. The lies fall flat. The distractions fade. The noise becomes meaningless. Because your spirit is locked in. Your heart is centered. Your focus is guarded. And your path is clear. It's okay if you feel tired. It's okay if you feel emotional. You've been carrying so much. Walking through fire without complaining. Healing in silence. Smiling through storms. But you made it here. You're still standing. And that's not small. That's everything. So protect your focus. Protect your peace. Don't answer every call. Don't open every door. Not everything that calls your name deserves your energy. Not every invitation is for you. Some things are sent just to drain you. Some people come back just to distract you. But you don't owe anyone access to your mind, your heart, or your purpose. You only owe yourself alignment. If it steals your peace, let it go. If it confuses your spirit, step back. If it feels like pressure without purpose, it's not for you. You are in a season where your clarity is sacred. Your stillness is power. Your focus is holy. There is no room for guilt, for shame, for second guessing. You are not who you used to be. You've already crossed the line where fear can't follow. You've already broken the chains that once kept you stuck. You are not just waiting for your blessing, you are becoming the blessing. And the world is about to see it. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them try to understand what can only be felt. You are not here to be understood. You are here to shine. You are here to carry something sacred. Something the world didn't expect. Something heaven already approved. You've been hidden for a reason. You've been quiet for a season. But the silence has been doing something powerful. It's been building your foundation. And now that foundation is ready to hold the weight of the blessing. This is not your breakdown. This is your breakthrough. Not because you forced it, not because you chased it, but because you stayed in alignment. You kept your heart soft. You kept your spirit open. You stayed faithful when everything around you looked dark. Now the reward is arriving. The door is opening. And your only job is to be ready. Not to explain yourself. Not to convince anyone. Just to stay present. Just to stay clear. Just to stay focused. Because what's for you is coming straight to you. And this time, you won't miss it. This time, you'll be ready. God has been moving everything behind the scenes for you, arranging every detail in silence. Even when you felt like nothing was happening, you might have felt delayed, ignored, or even forgotten. But heaven never stopped working. While you were crying, God was constructing. While you were doubting, God was designing. While you were feeling lost, God was guiding you forward through ways you couldn't yet see. And now the time is approaching when everything that has been building up in the background will begin to show itself. The doors will open. The answers will come. The clarity will return. But when it all begins to unfold, only one thing will matter. Were you watching? Or were you distracted? Were you spiritually awake? Or were you scrolling through noise that didn't deserve your time? Were you present? Or were you pulled away by things that kept your soul numb and your mind busy? Because this moment, this very breath, is not ordinary. It's sacred. It's your invitation to wake up, to come back to your true self, to remember what really matters. It's time to turn off the noise around you, to quiet the confusion, and to bring your focus back to the place it belongs, on your purpose, your spirit, your connection to God. Because the very second you pull your attention back to what's real, the very moment you stop giving your energy to things that don't feed your soul, everything that's been stuck for you will begin to move again. Opportunities that seemed dead will start breathing. Doors that looked locked will quietly open. Purpose that felt lost will stretch its arms and stand up again. It was never heaven holding anything back. The delay wasn't because you were forgotten. It was because your attention was scattered. Your heart was divided. And the truth is, so many of the things draining you didn't scream or explode their way into your life. They snuck in gently, through kind faces and sweet voices, through people who didn't seem harmful, through conversations that felt fine on the surface. But slowly, quietly, they pulled your spirit down. Some people come into your life not to help you rise, but to slowly dim your light without ever saying a harsh word. Have you ever felt exhausted after being around someone, even though nothing bad was said? Have you ever left a conversation feeling more confused than before? More foggy? Less like yourself? That's not your imagination. That's not just you being sensitive. That's spiritual theft. That's your energy being siphoned without permission. That's your light being drained drop by people who wear masks that look like kindness, but carry hidden hunger. Some of the most dangerous energy drainers don't make demands. They don't create loud drama. Instead, they mirror your energy just enough to seem trustworthy. They match your vibe, borrow your language, smile at the right times, and slowly ease past your boundaries. And once they're inside, they start feeding off your spark. They don't want to hurt you openly. They just want to stay close enough to soak up your peace, your clarity, your radiance, without ever giving anything back. You don't notice it at first. You just start waking up tired. You start losing your motivation. You feel scattered, unclear, off center. You begin to doubt yourself, even though you've done nothing wrong. And when you help others through their chaos, you find yourself left with nothing. That's not weakness. That's not failure. That's evidence that your light is valuable, and it's been accessed without care. Some people don't come with loud attacks. They come with quiet need. And if you don't protect your spirit, you'll keep pouring into people who have no intention of ever pouring back. Even people who are strong, compassionate, and full of love can be worn down by this kind of invisible drain. Princess Diana was loved around the world, full of kindness and light. Yet many people around her tried to take advantage of her spirit. She gave and gave, until eventually she had to speak about feeling depressed, tired, and spiritually empty. That didn't mean she was weak. It meant she was overexposed. Even royalty can be worn down by spiritual leeches. And so can you. This is why you must start recognizing your worth before others teach you to lower it. You are not cold for noticing when someone drains you. You are not unloving for needing space. Boundaries are not cruelty. They are sacred self-respect. They are spiritual protection. They are the way you preserve the divine energy God has placed in you. The world may praise being constantly available, but that doesn't make it holy. Availability is not proof of love. Sometimes it's a trap. If you are constantly available to everyone, then your soul will be left with nothing for yourself. A chosen one cannot live at full capacity while being drained daily by people who do not pour anything back. You are not a battery pack for other people's emotions. You are a vessel of divine frequency. You are here to carry light, not just to survive, but to shine. And that light needs stillness. It needs care. It needs rest. The Bible says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. That means you must choose carefully and prayerfully who has access to you. Some people are not there to build with you. They are only there to borrow your light. And when their peace returns, they vanish. Meanwhile, you're left wondering why your joy disappeared along with them. That's not an accident. It's a pattern. And it often happens when your breakthrough is close. Have you noticed how every time you start to feel focused, someone shows up with a crisis? Just when you find peace, an old friend calls with drama. Just when you begin to climb, the past tries to pull you down. That's not random. That's spiritual sabotage, disguised as coincidence. It's a tactic used by forces that don't want you to reach the mountaintop. If they can't stop your calling, they will try to distract your heart. And the truth is, sometimes it works, not because you're weak, but because you're kind, because you care. But caring doesn't mean giving your whole self away. Compassion without boundaries leads to exhaustion. The Bible says even young people grow tired, but those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. Your strength will come back when you realign with your truth, and that alignment begins with filtering, with learning to say no, with understanding that not every emergency belongs at your feet. You teach people how to treat your energy by the way you respond. If your answer is always yes, they will always come. If you pick up every call, your spirit will never have peace. If you let every crisis into your space, your purpose will get buried under their noise, and your mission was never meant to be buried. Even the brightest lights can burn out when surrounded by those who only take. Robin Williams made the whole world laugh, but he struggled deeply inside because pouring joy constantly without receiving anything back is not sustainable. And neither is your path if it's built only on giving. You must learn to protect your energy, even from those you love. You must pay attention to who always needs you at the wrong time, who always shows up when you're about to break through. That's not just distraction, it's strategy. The enemy doesn't always come to destroy your gifts. Sometimes he just sends someone to distract you from using them. But once you see the pattern, you can break it. Once you name the drain, you can stop it. And when you do, peace returns, joy returns, creativity flows, your heart feels lighter. The Bible says Jesus will give rest to the weary, but rest often requires separation. Not everyone gets to walk with you into what's next. Some people were part of your history, not your destiny. Some people must be loved from afar. Others must be blocked. Others must be released with grace. This is not bitterness. This is growth. Your energy is important. It's holy.